Replace your mom guilt with more productive and positive thinking by ending your day with some reflection. My next guest believes that peace in motherhood comes when we align our values and our priorities. Today, she's sharing questions to ask ourselves that will help us find that daily peace and confidence that we all want and crave as mothers. Julie Taylor joining me in studio. It's great to meet you. Great to have you.
So happy to be here.
And what a good topic, because let's be more content and peaceful and ultimately confident in our role. And you think these questions will help us do that. Mom guilt's sort of universal, right? Mm-hmm.
I've found that I have the privilege of working with a lot of women every day. I talk to them every day. So I get the advantage of hearing what women are struggling with and what moms are struggling with. And so I can see the universality, if that's a word, of mom guilt. It doesn't matter if you stay home. It doesn't matter if you work out of the home. It doesn't matter how many children you have or what stage you're at. All women are feeling this, and I think that that's important to note, because we lay in our beds at night going through all the things that we feel like we failed at, and we think that it's just us, but it's literally everyone.
You also want to remind mothers that they can't be everything for their children all the time.
Yeah, I believe that it's by divine design that we can't be everything for our children, and that those limitations are invitations for collaboration so that our children can have experiences with other adults and other relationships. So our limits and our shortcomings, as we phrase them, are actually these beautiful access points to invite other people into our children's lives.
Okay, that was like poetry. Your limitations are invitations, but think about that. Think about the connections and the outside growth experiences that will come when we are forced or willing to open up our mom hearts and our mom doors a little bit.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be all us, but we tell ourselves a story that we're supposed to meet every need for every child, and that's literally impossible.
Let's get into these questions. They are good. I previewed the list and I'm already impressed. First, what was your favorite moment with your kids today? At the end of the day, if we ask ourselves these questions, what's the benefit of that specific one?
So yeah, all these questions are kind of formed to help you focus on the positive that happened in the day. Because at nighttime, we tend to focus on all of the deficits, all of the mistakes, all of the things we screwed up on. So we want to shift that thinking and take you into the parts of all the good things you did.
It's always worse at night, right? We
It's
can say that
always worse
about
at night.
sickness, illness, about anxiety. It's always worse at night. And that weight of the day just sort of kerplunk lands at the end. So this is helping us kind of shift that energy.
When you replay the tape, it's always the mistakes. It's always the bad stuff we don't recognize. So all these are meant to kind of pull out, even if it's a fleeting moment, there's a lot of wins in each day. So, sorry, repeat this first one for me.
What was the favorite moment with your kids today? The best moment with my kids today?
So I just like thinking of like the one moment, which no matter how many kids you have, just kind of go through what was your favorite thing they said? What was your favorite interaction with them? Just to paint them in a positive light and to remember that there was a positive interaction.
This next question, I mean, there is weighted gold in this. How did you show up as a mom today that felt good, or here comes my favorite part, brought you peace or brought you joy? How did you show up in a way that brought joy?
Specifically as a mom, what did you do in your role in your relationship as a mom that felt good? Because we don't all like the same things. And so maybe playing trucks on the ground isn't your favorite thing, but maybe you love dropping your kid off at dance. We all like different things, and zoning in on that thing where you can say, you know what, I actually really enjoyed that. I felt peaceful and I felt joyful in that moment. It's gonna up your fulfillment.
I see this next question being maybe particularly helpful on a particularly hard day, because it's kind of light, it's kind of easy, but let's check the box. Were your children's basic human needs met?
Yes, because that's the baseline, right? So we kind of go through like, oh, did I spend 5 hours with them? No, were they fed? Were they safe? Were they clothed? And that can become our baseline, especially in times of survival mode when things are really hard. Just go for those basic needs, and that's enough.
I think this next question is so wise, Julie, and so beautifully phrased, in part because motherly sacrifice is often framed in a negative way. It's often talked down upon, which I've never been comfortable with, because it's sort of part of the role and part of the experience you described. So this question, I really appreciate. What sacrifices did you make today that felt meaningful?
I love this focus because I believe that motherhood does require sacrifice. Amen. And I believe that it's supposed to be that way.
Thank you.
I don't think that we need to sacrifice ourselves to the point of destruction.
Of course.
Our own needs are important too, but that's the most beautiful part of motherhood to me, is that we learn sacrifice. And to me, I like to go through the day and think, when did I choose my kids over myself? When did I choose their needs over mine? And to me, that's invigorating, that's exciting, and that's fulfilling to me.
Invigorating is the perfect word. It pushes you forward to this higher place of functionality. Like, I'm doing this willingly because I want to, and you're right, it is a beautiful aspect
and it's
of
a
motherhood.
choice. Everything is a choice.
That refines us and makes us better. I appreciate that so much. This is another good one. What did you prioritize today that aligned with your goals and values? So much of motherhood is mundane, right? We're moving through the motions, but if we look at how those motions aligned with our deep-seated beliefs, that's a powerful energy push too.
Yeah, and this is another one. I believe that contentment in motherhood does come through aligning our values with our priorities and building our own life that way, because what works for you isn't going to work for me. What's fulfilling for you isn't going to be fulfilling for me. We all have different situations and different needs, and so this one I like to just take stock of how did I arrange my day that worked? What things did I prioritize that worked? And sometimes you find that one didn't, and that's the perfect time to be like, okay, now tomorrow I can prioritize things differently to more align with what I believe should be happening in my home.
Your words are so good. Here's a happy heart question. What was your favorite way you showed love for your kids today?
Don't you think sometimes we get in these motions of just going through the day, and at the end of the day we're like, well, I'm the worst, and no, that's not true. And each kid is going to need to be shown love differently. My 12-year-old son does not want me cuddling him and telling I want that. He doesn't want that. So showing him love is going to be different. And I like to get creative with the ways of how did I show up for each kid today? How did they feel love from me?
I like that this presents an opportunity for ourselves, and I bet if we opened it up to our kids, in fact, they would say the same, but to honor and celebrate the small things. We had a loaded summer day the other day. Water park, we actually ended up doubling down at the neighborhood pool. We went out to eat. I mean, it was loaded. At the end of the day, I asked my 4-year-old, what was your favorite part of the day? As I'm tickling, we're doing back tickle, as you know, at night. What was your favorite part of your day? And she said, when you did the armpit check, which is nothing but arm raise, nuzzle, nuzzle, nose, tickle. I mean, right? It was a small little moment in a loaded day of summer fun and Shazam. And that was the moment that she wanted to celebrate.
And most often it is.
Yeah.
So that kind of helps us, again, go back to those priorities and realize what matters to my children, because it's usually not the same stuff that matters to us.
These are so great. We'll wrap it up with one more question. What's something you love about your child?
I just think it's really important to always be thinking about the positives and the great things about our children, because it's easy, especially as they get older, to start getting critical and stressed and only see their shortcomings and the ways that we all screwed up. And just like we need to see our own motherhood positively, we need to see our children positively.
Which actually, we talk about the weight of the day landing at night. Somehow when they're asleep, isn't that the easiest time?
Yes, suddenly they're perfect. Suddenly they're all good.
Angels asleep in their bed. You're like, what did I do to ruin them today? No, these questions put us in the other direction. They really are a wise list, which we'll share with you on our website. But I'd love to point people to where they can get more inspiration from you, Julie.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at @TheJulieTaylor.
The Julie Taylor. Find her there. Thank you for the pick me up. 7 questions you can ask yourself to find confidence and contentment in the role of motherhood.